The Rigveda Hymn 3.8 Sacrificial Post. God serving men, O sovereign of the forest, with heavenly meath at sacrifice, anoint thee, grant wealth to us when thou art standing upright, as when reposing on this mother's bosom, set up to eastward of the fire enkindled, accepting prayer that wastes not, rich in hero, driving far from us poverty and famine, lift thyself up to bring us great good fortune. Lord of the forests, raise thyself up on the loftiest spot of earth, give splendor fixed and measured well to him who brings the sacrifice. Well robed, enveloped, he is come, the youthful, springing to life, his glory waxeth greater, contemplative in mind and God adoring. Sages of high intelligence upraise him. Sprung up, he rises in the day's fair weather, increasing in the men-frequented synod. With song, the wise and skilful consecrate him. His voice, the God-adoring singer utters. He whom religious men have firmly planted. Thou, forest sovereign, whom the axe hath fashioned, let those stakes divine which here are standing be fain to grant us wealth with store of children. O men who lift the ladles up, these hewn and planted in the ground, bringing a blessing to the field, shall bear our precious gift to gods, Adityas, Rudras, Vasus, careful leaders, earth, heaven, and Prithvi, and air's mid-region. Accordant deities shall bless our worship and make our sacrifice as ensign lofty. Like swans that flee in lengthened line, the pillars have come to us, arrayed in brilliant color. They, lifted up on high by sages eastward, go forth as gods to the gods' dwelling places. Those stakes upon the earth with rings that deck them seem to the eye like horns of horned creatures, are as upraised by priests in invocation. Let them assist us in the rush to battle. Lord of the wood, rise with 100 branches, with 1,000 branches may we rise to greatness. Thou whom this hatchet, with an edge well whetted for great felicity, hath brought before us. And position is very important, whether it's a repeated spot or whether it's the format. Hymn 3.9, 9 verses. We, as thy friends, have chosen thee, mortals, a god, to be our help, the water's child, the blessed, the resplendent one, victorious and beyond compare, since thou, delighting in the woods, hast gone unto thy mother's screams. Not to be scorned, Acne, is that return of thine, when from afar thou now art here, o'er pungent smoke host thou prevailed, and thus art thou benevolent. Some go before, and others round about thee sit, they in whose friendship thou hast place. Him who has passed beyond his foes, beyond continual pursuits, him the unerring ones, observant, found in flocks, couched like a lion in his lair, him wandering at his own free will. Acne here, hidden from our view, him Matarasthan brought to us, from far away, produced by friction, from the gods, O bearer of oblations. Thus mortals receive thee from the gods, whilst thou, the friend of man, guardest each sacrifice with thine own power. Most youthful one, amid thy wonders is this good, yea, to the simple it is clear. When gathered round about thee, Acne, lie the herds, where thou art kindled in the morn. Offer to him who knows fair rites, who burns with purifying glow, swift envoy, active, ancient, and adorable, serve ye the gods attentively. 3 times 100 gods, and thrice 1,000, and 3 times 10 and 9 have worshipped Acne. For him spread sacred grass with oil, bedewed him, and established him as priest and sacrificer. So how do we use our free will? And what are we being established in? What are we establishing others in? Hymn 3.10, Agni, 9 verses. Be Agni, God, imperial lord of all mankind. Do mortal men with understanding kindle at the sacrifice? They laud thee in their solemn rites, Agni, as minister and priest. Shine forth in thine own home as guardian of the law. He verily, who honors thee with fuel, knower of all life, he, Agni, wins heroic might. He prospers well, ensign the sacrifices. He, Agni, with gods is come to us, decked by the 7 priests. To him who bring gifts, to Agni, the invoking priest, offer your best, your lofty speech, to him ordainer like, who brings the light of songs. That these our hymns make Agni grow, whence meet for laud he springs to life. To mighty strength and great possession fair to see, best sacrificer, bring the gods, O Agni, to the pious man. A joyful priest, thy splendor drive our foes afar. As such, O purifier, shine on us, heroic, glorious might. Be nearest friend to those who laud thee for their weal. So wakeful, immersed in sacred hymns, the holy singers kindly thee, oblation bearer, deathless, cherisher of strength. And something that is central is our true will, that we operate through our centers, represented by the number 7, but really the way that chakras can be defined as experience or consciousness centers and that sort of thing. We end up with about 114 from the medical standpoint. And back in the day, before they supposedly knew this, they knew that number. So 7's just the popular number we have. 3:11, Agni, 9 verses. Agni is priest, the great high priest to sacrifice, most swift in act. He knows the right and constant course. Oblation bearer, deathless, well inclined, an eager messenger. Agni comes nigh us with a thought. Ensign a sacrifice. From of old, Agni well knoweth with his thought to prosper this man's aim and hope. Agni, illustrious from old time, the son of strength who knows all life, the gods have made to their priest. Infallible as Agni, who goes before the tribes of men, a chariot swift and ever new, strength of the gods which none may harm, subduing all his enemies. Agni is mightiest in fame. By offering sacred food to him, the mortal worshipper obtains a home from him whose light makes pure. From Agni by our hymns may we gain all things that bring happiness. Singers of him who knows all life, O Agni, in our deeds of might may we obtain all precious things. The gods are centered, all in thee. And the qualities that we refer to of what is not us, well, our reference is going through us. Hymn 3:12, Indra Agni, 9 verses. Moved, Indra Agni, by our hymn, come to the juice, the precious dew, drink ye thereof, impelled by song, O Indra Agni, with the man who lauds you comes the wakening right. So drink ye both this juice assured, through force of sacrifice I choose Indra Agni, who love the wise. With Soma let these sate them here. Indra and Agni I invoke, joint victors, bounteous, unsubdued, foe slayers, best to win the spoil. Indra and Agni, singers skilled, in melody hymn you. Bringing lauds, I choose you for the sacred food. Indra and Agni, ye cast down the 90 forts which Dasas held. Together with one mighty deed, to Indra Agni, reverent thoughts, go forward from the holy task. Along the path of sacred law, O Indra Agni, powers are yours. and dwellings and delightful food. Good is your readiness to act. Indra and Agni, in your deeds of might, ye deck heaven's lucid realms. Famed is that hero strength of yours. Now, I'm definitely not saying that there isn't a presence of deity and a presence of other entities, both in the innermost and the outermost. Hymn 3:13, 7 verses. To Agni, to this God of yours, I sing aloud with utmost prayer. May he come to us with the gods and sit, best offerer on the grass, the holy whose are earth and heaven, and succor waits upon his strength. Him men who bring oblations laud, and they who wish to gain for grace. He is the sage who guides these men, leader of sacred rites is he. Him your own Agni serve ye well, who winneth and bestoweth wealth. So may the gracious Agni grant most goodly shelter for our use. Whence in the heavens are in the floods, he shall pour wealth upon our lands. The singers kindle him, the priest, Agni, the lord of the tribes of men, resplendent and without a peer, through his own excellent designs. Help us, thou Brahman, best of all invokers of the gods in song. Beam, friend of Marutas, bliss on us, O Agni, a most liberal god, yea, grant us treasure thousandfold with children and with nourishment, and Agni, splendid hero strength, exalted, wasting not away. Hymn 3:14, Agni. And, well, before I get into these 7 verses, let us remember that, there's a material side, but the waxing and waning of the material side doesn't necessarily mean that there's any loss or gain in an ultimate spiritual sense. The pleasant priest is come into the synod, true, skilled in sacrifice, most wise ordainer. Agni, the son of strength, whose car is lightning, whose hair is flame, hath shown on earth his lustre. To thee I offer reverent speech, accept it, to thee who markest it, victorious, faithful. Bring thou who knowest, those who know, and seat thee amid the sacred grass for help, O holy. Thee too shall show their vigor. Night and morning, by the wind's paths, shall haste to thee, O Agni, when men adorn the ancient with oblations. These seek as on 2 chariot seats the dwelling. To thee, strong Agni, Varuna and Mitra, and all the Marutas sang a song of triumph. What time unto the people's lands thou camest, spreading them as the Son of Men with lustre, approaching with raised hands in adoration, we have this day fulfilled for thee thy longing. Worship the gods with most devoted spirit, a priest with no unfriendly thought, O Agni, for son of strength from thee come many succours, and powers abundant that a god possesses. Agni to us with speech that hath no falsehood, grant riches, real to be told in thousands. Whatever god and sacrifice we mortals have wrought, is all for thee, strong, wise of purpose. Be thou the friend of each good chariot's master. All this enjoy thou here, immortal Agni. And if we want something to come to us, we have to approach it ourselves, right? Hymn 3:15, 7 verses. Resplendent with thy wide extending lustre, dispel the terrors of the fiends who hate us. May lofty Agni be my guide and shelter, the easily invoked, the good protector. Be thou to us, while now the morn is breaking. Be thou a guardian, when the sun hath mounted. Accept as men, accept a true-born infant, my laud. O Agni, nobly born in body, bull who beholdest men. Through many mornings among the dark ones, shine forth red, O Agni. Lead us, good Lord, and bear us over trouble. Help us who long, most youthful God, to riches. Shine forth a bull invincible, O Agni, winning by conquest all the forts and treasures. Thou, Vedas, who art skilled in guiding the chief high saving sacrifices leader, lightning gods hither, Agne, wisest singer, bring thou to us many and flawless shelters. Bring vigor like a car that gathers booty. Bring us, O Agne, beauteous, earth and heaven. Swell, O thou bull, and give these powers an impulse. Aim the earth and heaven, who yield their milk in plenty. Shining, O God, with gods in clear effulgence. Let not a mortal's evil will obstruct us. Agne, as holy food through thine invoker, give wealth and cattle, lasting, rich in marvels. To us be born a son, and wealth-spreading offspring. Agne, be this thy gracious will to usward. And there's some correlation between these things and other expressions of these archetypes, like Prometheus, for example. But, I mean, it's clear that some aspects of that story does not line up with this story. Hymn 3:16, Agne, 6 verses. This Agne is the Lord of great felicity and hero strength, Lord of wealth and herds of kine, Lord of the battles with the foe. Wait Marutas, heroes upon him, the prosperer, in whom is bliss increasing wealth, who in fights ever conquer evil-hearted men, who overcome the enemy. As such, O Agne, deal us wealth and hero might, O bounteous one, most lofty, very glorious, rich in progeny, free from disease and full of power. He who made all that lives, who passes all in might, who orders service to the gods, he works among the gods, he works in hero strength, they also in the praise of men. Give us not up to indigence, Agne, nor want of hero sons, nor son of strength, to lack of cattle, nor to blame. Drive thou our enemies away, help us to strength, blessed Agne, rich in progeny, abundant in our sacrifice. Flood us with riches yet more plenteous, bringing weal with high renown, most glorious one. And regardless of what our favorite attribute that we consider divine is, there are other attributes and areas that such works with. Hymn 3:17, 5 verses. Duly enkindled after ancient customs, bringing all treasures, he is balmed with unguents, flame-haired, oil-clad, purifying Agne, skilled in fair rites, to bring the gods for worship. As thou, O Agne, skillful Jatavedas, hast sacrificed as priest of earth of heaven, so with this offering bring the gods, and prosper the sacrifice today as erst for Manu. 3 are thy times of life, O Jatavedas, and the 3 mornings are thy births, O Agne. With these well knowing, grant the gods kind favor, and help in stir and stress the man who worships. Agne, most bright and fair with song we honor, yea, the adorable, O Jatavedas. Thee, envoy, messenger, oblation bearer, the gods have made center of life eternal. That priest before thee, yet more skilled in worship, established of old, health giver by his nature. After his custom offer, thou who knowest, and lay our sacrifice where gods may taste it. And by gods, of course, we mean the light beings. And if we say the light beings have no free will, that doesn't matter. They still can take joy in the in a way, I guess, with the favored deeds. And we're told, if there's something that we can do regularly and do it small, that's better than just doing good deeds that are great and, neglecting the small things. And, because at the very least, there are light beings that are there to be a witness, to be a part of it, that you're not letting be a part of something. Hymn 3:18, Agna. 5 verses. Agna, be kind to us when we approach thee, good as a friend to friend. As sire and mother, the races of mankind are great oppressors, burn up malignity that strives against us. Agna, burn up the unfriendly who are near us. Burn thou the foeman's curse, who pays no worship. Burn Vasu, thou who markest well the foolish. Let thine eternal nimble beams surround thee. With fuel, Agna, and with oil, desirous mine offering, I present for strength and conquest, with prayer so far as I have power adoring. This hymn divine to gain 100 treasures. Give with thy glow, thou sun of strength, when lauded, great vital power, to those who toil to serve thee. Give richly, Agna, to the Vishvamitras, in rest and stir. Oft have we decked thy body. Give us, O liberal Lord, great store of riches, for Agna, such art thou when duly kindled. Thou in the happy singer's home bestowest, amply with arms extended, things of beauty. And it's important to involve of the best that we have in our worship. But then again, let us not necessarily require from others that, they pick the portion that is the best portion when we collect alms. I mean, something suitable, but you know what I mean. Hymn 3:19, Agna, 5 verses. Agna, quick, sage, infallible, all-knowing, I choose to be our priest at this oblation. In our God's service, he, best skilled, shall worship. May he obtain us boons for strength and riches. Agna, to thee I lift the oil-fed ladle, bright with an offering, bearing our oblation. From the right hand choosing the God's attendants, he with rich presents hath arranged the worship. Of keenest spirit is the man thou aidest. Give us good offspring, thou who givest freely, in power of wealth, most rich in men, O Agna, of thee, the good, may we sing forth fair praises. Men as they worship thee, the God, O Agna, have set on thee full many a brilliant aspect. So bring most youthful one the gods' assembly, the heavenly host, which thou today shalt honor, when gods anoint thee priest at their oblation, and seat thee for thy task as sacrificer. O Agna, be thou here, our kind defender, and to ourselves vouchsafe the gift of glory. And the Devas, Ahuras, light beings, Malaika, unfallen angels, whatever you want to call them, they are infallible, as a sense, because they're not going to, they don't have that free will to, in regards of doing what's wrong. I mean, in the ultimate sense, some of the verses may differ, but as you know, some of these things were composed. So. Hymn 3:20, Agna. 5 verses. With lauds at break of morn, the priest invoketh Agna, dawn, Dadikras, and both the Asvins, with one consent. The gods whose light is splendid, longing to taste our sacrifice, shall hear us. These are thy powers, O Agna, 3 thy stations, 3 are thy tongues, yea, many, child of order. 3 bodies hast thou which the gods delight in, with these protect our hymns with care unceasing. O Agna, many are the names thou bearest, immortal, God divine, and Jatavedas, and many charms of charmers, all inspire, have they laid in thee, Lord of true attendants. Agna, like Banka, leads the godly people. He who is true to law and guards the seasons, ancient, all-knowing, he, the Vritra slayer, shall bear the singer safe through every trouble. I call on Savitar the god, on morning Brihaspati and Dadikras and Agni, on Varuna and Mitra, on the Asvins, Bhaga, and the Vasus, Rudras and Adityas. And much more important than any charm or amulet, or even would be, of course, like a talisman, because talisman completes the ritual in its use. It's not entirely the faith in it. But even greater than that is the faith, or whatever you want to call it, in the entity or entities involved. And that covers things outside the forms. And perhaps makes your life a charmed life. 3:21. Agni, 5 verses. Set this our sacrifice among the immortals, be pleased with these our presents, Jeta Vedas. O priest, O Agni, sit thee down before us, and first enjoy the drops of oil and fatness. For thee, O purifier, flow the drops of fatness rich in oil. After they want, vouchsafe to us the choicest boon that gods may feast. Agni, most excellent, for thee, the sage, are drops that drip with oil. Thou art enkindled as the best of seers. Help thou the sacrifice. To thee, O Agni, mighty and resistless, to thee stream forth the drops of oil and fatness. With great light art thou come. O praised by poets, accept our offering. O thou sage, fatness exceeding rich, extracted from the midst. This, as our gift, we offer thee. Excellent God, the drops run down upon thy skin. Deal them to each among the gods. Now, no matter how excellent our deeds or our offerings or whatever are, it's important that we, make that extra effort, or put in our consciousness that even though we are asking the deity to accept. It's not entirely whether we accept or not. Hymn 3:22, Agni, 5 verses. This is that Agni, whence the longing Indra took the pressed Soma deep within his body, winner of spoils and thousands. Like a courser with praise art thou exalted, Jeta Vedas. That light of thine in heaven and earth, O Agni in plants, O Holy One, and in the waters, wherewith thou hast spread wide the air's mid-region, bright is that splendor, wavy, man beholding. O Agni, to the sea of heaven thou goest. Thou hast called hither gods, beheld in spirit. The waters too come hither, those up yonder in the sun's realm of light, and those beneath it. Let fires that dwell in mist combine with those that have their home in floods. Guileless, accept our sacrifice. Grant viands free from all disease. Agni, as holy food to thine invoker, give wealth and cattle, lasting, rich in marvels. To us be born a son, and spreading offspring. Agni, be this thy gracious will to usward. And so if we think of Agni as like a sun that spreads, and see, all these things can form correspondences. Hymn 3:23, Agni, 5 verses. Rubbed into life, well established in the dwelling, leader of sacrifice, the sage, the youthful, here in the wasting fuel, Jeta Vedas, eternal, hath assumed immortal being, both Varatas, Devasravas, Devavata, have strongly rubbed to life, effectual Agni. O Agni, look thou forth with ample riches, be every day bearer of food to feed us. Him nobly born of old, the fingers 10 produced, him whom his mother counted dear. Praise Devavatas Agni, thou Devasravas, him who shall be the people's lord. He set thee in the earth's most lovely station, in Ella's place, in days of fair bright weather. On Apaya Agni, on the rivers Jashatvati, Sarasvati shine richly. Agni, as holy food to thine invoker, give wealth and cattle, lasting, rich in marvels. To us be born a son and spreading offspring. Agni, be this thy gracious will to usward, and any entity needs to do its own efforts. And of course, when we talk about deity, we say effortlessly, comparative effortlessly of any spiritual being that's not confined to a physical body, but but then again, technically it is an effort if there's a thought or something, but it's not the effort in terms of something strenuous like it is with the creations. Hymn 3.24, Agne, 5 verses. Agne, subdue opposing bands and drive our enemies away. Invincible, slay godless foes. Give splendor to the worshipper, lit with libation. Agne, thou deathless, who callest gods to feast, accept our sacrifice with joy, with splendor, Agne, son of strength. Thou who art worshipped, wakeful one, seat thee on this, my sacred grass, with all thy fires, with all the gods, Agne, exalt the songs we sing, and living men in holy rites. Grant Agne to the worshipper, wealth, rich in heroes, plenteous store. Make thou us rich with many sons. And of course, one of the things that we probably should do when we do worship is that we should probably have regard for the others who worship, even if they're not worshiping with us.